Well, Andre Novak, and you're actually talking to us from Bucharest, Romania, and you have, I'm not a gamer, but I love this game. I mean, man, I'm a student of business and economic growth and everything, and your game shows like the beginning of economic growth in using technology and how we all developed as societies, but you put it in a wonderful game that's so interesting, and it's just amazing. And you went on crowdfunding, from Romania. There you are, selling board games in Romania. Go on a crowdfunding, hoping to get like $19,000, and you get $95,000. And what would that be in Romania? How many? What is the currency in Romania?
You would just multiply the US dollars by 4, and that's the amount we got.
Right, so I was 400,000 what? What is the currency called?
Romanian lei.
Lei?
Yes.
Wow, so 400,000 lei. Well, that's real money, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And really, you were an engineer and trying to find a business, and it sounds like when we're talking about the background, you're really almost a technology historian because of this game, right? You really had to research this.
Thanks. I will take the compliment, but I am not a historian. I am simply an engineer who did his homework, did about a year of research, trying to learn and understand all about the evolution of technology in human history, because I wanted from the very beginning to put this into a board game.
So in other words, when you said, like, who invented the printing press, you found out the real answer, right?
Well, yes. I must say that I had learned about that in maybe 20 years ago in school, but still, there are many technologies which we take for granted as being invented by the Western culture, whereas they were coming from the Far East, from China, most of them. So yeah, it's been a quite long and intense research work, because we wanted to keep as much accuracy as possible in a product which is not focused mainly on the historical aspect, but it still wants to depict as well as possible the history of technology.
Well, I see, the game looks gorgeous. Your artists and everything, did a wonderful work. Unless you did that too. You're the historian now because you could learn to do anything yourself now, right, on the internet.
I wouldn't go that far. Actually, the artist is American.
Oh, wonderful.
He has done a good job. He's a long-time, let's say, contractor, friend, partner of ours. He's been drawing for us for 2.5 years, and we will keep working together.
Oh, wonderful. But now, so you figured out the board stuff and the knowledge you needed to do a board game on technology, but the marketing, okay, so Kickstarter's there, so you said, hey, we're going to try to get money from Kickstarter, but did you feel you understood marketing in the USA well enough? You live in Romania, you don't eat Cheerios every day, maybe like we grew up on. And would you feel that you understand the culture well enough to sell the game? You obviously did, because you made a hell of a lot more money than you were looking for. But, what inspired you to learn, or was it hard to learn it? Or because if nobody buys your thing, doesn't matter how good it is, you have to figure out how to get people to buy it. Absolutely.
Well, I would be very arrogant saying that I know and I understand so well the US market. No, I do not, but I'm not alone. We in NSCAN, we're a pretty international team. As I said before, our artists are mostly Americans, but also from Western Europe. In our company, the people working here are some Romanian, some Polish, and we cooperate with people from many countries. And we are also quite familiar with American culture. 90% of the movies we watch on TV are Hollywood movies. We know of Oprah, we watch CNN. We are quite well connected to what's going on in the US. Now, we have another advantage with board games. This is a very specific market, and some concepts which apply to other industries don't really necessarily apply to board games. Also, this is not a fast-moving consumer good. We don't need that kind of specific marketing. We don't need TV ads. we were trying to talk to the audience, to our audience. There is a big website called Board Game Geek. We're
I
talking
see.
about people passionate about board games. Most of our advertising money went there.
I see.
This is a community of 3 million people,
Woo!
all passionate about board games. Also video games, also role-playing games, but this is mostly about board games. And
Wow.
we talked to them. We also found some relevant people in our industry, trend makers. We showed them our product, and some of them said, wow, this is interesting.
Yeah.
And they talked about it, and they made videos about it, and we used those videos to promote our campaign. And Kickstarter, I mean, probably half or a bit more than half of Kickstarter business is made of board game fans, people who are looking for board games and video games. So just through direct discovery through Kickstarter, we've got about 25% of our funds. So
Wow.
I would say that we didn't necessarily we didn't put huge amount of resources into marketing a product which we did not know if it would succeed or not. It was an experiment from our side in a way, and what we try to do is be really honest and really open and explain people what we are doing and why we're doing it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the videos, I mean, on Kickstarter, you had some videos of your reviews of people in the industry that reviews board games. And they were just gushing about how great, the board game is, And so I guess, so you, in other words, I guess, did the research necessary to find these people on the web to get, and put the product in front of them and to see if they'll review it, correct?
Well, yes. It's also that we are not new in the industry. I mean, most Kickstarter creators, they start in the board game business again.
Yeah.
They go first to Kickstarter. This applies especially to companies, startups from the US.
Yeah.
They go to Kickstarter. They might have a really, really good product, but sometimes they have a problem gaining the trust of people because nowadays there are probably at the same time on Kickstarter 100, maybe 200, maybe more projects running specifically for board games. Now, we've been on this market since 2011. We learned a little bit. This is what I want to believe. We made some connections. We got some people to teach us how this industry works, and we learned. We put all our knowledge together to try to make this project as good as possible. It did not come without effort or without resources. I mean, just the making of the board game itself took about a year, and a lot of research, a lot of work, testing, involving different groups, different cultures, different countries. But the Kickstarter project itself, I mean, it took us a lot of research. We went and we read almost from A to Z, from top to bottom, about 400 projects, and then we studied. Out of these, we selected 10 of them, which were, let's say, we used them as guidelines. Things which people did well. Not super champions of Kickstarter projects which raised $2-3 million, because we're not there yet.
Right.
But projects which raised between $50,000 and $150,000, projects which were run really well from our point of view, and we tried to see what they did well, what could be improved.
So you became good students, right?
Yes, I would certainly say so.
So anybody can be a good student. See, in America, we think you have to buy success. You have to buy everything. So so you, maybe from another culture, realize that you just use yourself and your inner strength and learn and grow that way instead of trying to buy your way into everything. Huh?
I would definitely say that having some funds in the very beginning is not a bad idea.
Right.
There are things which money can buy, and sometimes having an expert doing something rather than you do it yourself is better. But 90% of the success on Kickstarter comes from research, from learning and from understanding what other people did right and where there is room for improvement. Kickstarter, I mean, their motto is fund your dream. This is what we've done, and this is what other thousands or hundreds of thousands of people have done before us. I believe it's open to anyone who is stubborn enough to go all the way. To spend especially his time well, brain power to.
Yeah. Well, to me, what better way to do it? I mean, you're going to have to do something in life. You might as well do something you got a passion for and have maybe some percentage of possibility of success, and then it happened to you, and it happens to lots of people every day. Huh? But it doesn't happen to anybody who doesn't do anything.
Well, to succeed, you have to try first.
Right. There's no magic. You just have to get your butt up and try, and fall down and try it again.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you're a delight. Thank you so much, Andre. And that's good philosophy, and coming from you, this famous historian about technology in the world.
Well, thank you so much. I'm still going to go with engineer rather than historian.
Okay. Well, I can understand, but I just love to tease you. And to find out about your Kickstarter campaigns and get all your board games, and read the videos. I think the videos are so good that you guys did. You go to nskn.net. So nskn.net. And what does NSKN stand for?
Well, when we founded the company, we were somehow in a crisis of ideas. So we just put our initials together and it's just nskn.net.
That's it. Easy as that. When in doubt, take the obvious. Take care, Andre. Nice to meet you, and best of luck.
Thank you so much for having me.